Donald Trump. Right?
It was good.
Was it good?
Listen, brother.
That's what he says all the time. And I'll be darned, that's exactly what he did. Even ripping his shirt off and had a Trump Vance sign underneath.
See, I liked that a lot because I'm watching it and I'm thinking I couldn't really get a good look at the shirt he had on and had the American flag on. I didn't know if it was Trump. I didn't know what what it was. I thought, oh, that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
But then he said, with everything going on and with what happened last Saturday, and then rip, I'm like, that's cool.
I loved it.
That was cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I was totally joking with my wife when I said that, hey, brother, you better vote for Donald Trump. And she smiled because that's what he did. I said, Jess, that's what he's doing. It was just, oh my God, it was just great. I thought he was great.
And I like Kid Rock. I mean, everybody stayed in their zone and did exactly what they wanted to do. I think that's emblematic of the party.
Yeah. And I thought Dana White was great.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Eric was great. And I thought the president was great.
Well, I like it when Dana White calls Trump the American badass.
Yeah. And he says, I work with tough guys. That's my life, is tough guys.
Right.
He's the toughest guy I've ever met.
Right.
I mean, how many people, honestly, Ken, I know he got shot in the ear, but how many people getting shot anywhere have the wherewithal to stand up, raise your fist, and say, fight?
Can I correct you a little bit with that? No, only because I've heard someone else say this on the left about it was only a shot in the ear. Well, let's put it this way. The only reason why it's only a shot in the ear is because he turned his head by God's will. Okay, if this should have been this should have been in memoriam.
He said he shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here right now.
And we'll have all that audio, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Vic, I'm serious about that. When they say it's just his ear, that means nothing.
Yeah.
That should not even be a part of the topic.
You're right. So I thought it was a great convention. It is a totally unified Republican Party right now, while the Democrat Party is in total disarray. And when I say the Democrat Party in total disarray, I have to say,
yeah, it's delicious.
I love it.
It's delicious.
We'll talk more about the convention, of course, throughout the day today with Larry and with Jay Ashcroft. Right now, though, Russell Sobel. Sorry to keep you waiting. Russell, he's a professor of economics and entrepreneurship at the Baker School of Business at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. Thanks for being with us. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Vic. It's good to be here with you today.
Our pleasure. So let's talk about free markets, okay? Because sometimes, and I want to say the left, but let's just say some people in this country don't want the free market, but they want what they want to mandate, like, let's say, electric vehicles. How dare you tell me I have to have an electric vehicle or I can't have a gas stove? Let's let the free market decide. Isn't that basic principles right there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very strange. We had thought back in the 80s and 90s that basically capitalism won. It was very obvious that socialism and central planning weren't working and collapsing around the rest of the world. But here we are today with a lot of students and a lot of people, and even in America, wanting big government policies and embracing socialism and kind of forgetting what brought us all this great prosperity and how we got here. And there's so many examples of how, government central planning and those kinds of things just don't produce the same prosperity. And that's what my report's about.
Yeah. And entrepreneurship, it sounds sometimes, it sounds to people like, I can't start a business. I don't know how to start a business. And, you need money to start a business, which I guess is true. But boy, people like J.D. Vance and many other people started a business, became very successful, being entrepreneurs, and started with nothing. So it's possible for anybody, don't you think?
Yeah, not only is it possible for anybody, but even if it isn't possible for everybody, the point is we're so much better off allowing people to do this to be entrepreneurs, to permissionless innovation, to let people just roll the dice and experiment with their ideas. In the problem with central planning and regulation is that it requires too much permission. And we've got story after story of people like, Steve Ballmer, Microsoft CEO, laughing about the iPhone when it was first invented because it didn't have a real keyboard and it was going to be expensive. I mean, had that been invented within his company and he was a central planner, he'd have said, nah, we don't need those things. Fred Smith, who the entrepreneur who pioneered FedEx, wrote his business plan as a senior project at Yale, and his professor gave him a C on it. The point is that every day we've got entrepreneurs just rolling the dice, experimenting with their ideas that other people don't think will work, and then those ideas do work, and they change the way we live for the better. So we're all so much better off allowing this process of creative destruction, as Joseph Schumpeter called it, to unfold, where new things replace old things.
We're talking to Russell Sobel, professor of economics and entrepreneurship at the Baker School of Business at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. I think J.D. Vance is a perfect example of what you're talking about, right? Grew up in Appalachia, very poor, a drug-addicted mother, and he managed to get himself into college, law school, start a business, and now look at him. He's going to be the vice president of the United States.
Yeah, and the thing is that areas of the country like where he's from have been some of the areas that have suffered the most from creative destruction in terms of industries moving or whatever, and those are precisely the places that can benefit the most from finding ways to ease regulations and allow entrepreneurs to find new ways to use those resources. One of my favorite examples from my class of this is these shopping malls that are sitting around all over, they're empty. I mean, those have been sitting there. And that's an entrepreneurial opportunity for somebody who can figure out what to do with those. And sure enough, my local mall where I grew up is now half owned by HBO that films The Righteous Gemstones in one half of it. And our hospitals bought the other half and expanded the hospital in the other half. There's a company called Pickle Mall going around the United States buying up old malls and creating indoor pickleball courts. We need to find ways for entrepreneurs to redeploy our resources. All these people and factories and resources up in the the Rust Belt area will benefit greatly from finding ways to expand entrepreneurship and lower regulations and taxes.
So if somebody has an idea, right? And here, I'll give you a perfect example, okay? I mean, 30 or more years ago, my wife said, why aren't there brake lights on the front of cars as well as the back? So when you step on the brake, lights go on to tell you that the brake has been hit, right? So I was like, I think that's a great idea. So we had my uncle make this little model of a car, and you took a pencil and you hit the brake, and brake lights went on the front and the back. And we were like, oh my God, this is great. We're going to be billionaires, And as we were watching the news about 2 or 3 months later, and somebody had done it. Somebody had invented brake lights in the front of cars. Not that it's ever been used, right? But if somebody's got a great idea, which I thought mine was, by the way, how do you get it going?
Yeah. Your example is spot on with one of the ones I discussed in the report that I wrote for the Show Me Institute. About at the height of socialism and central planning, East Germany socialist government ran a car company that made a car called the Trabant. And in the 1980s, there's this wonderful YouTube video online of a review of this car in the 1980s. Now, bear in mind, it's the same time we've got Smokey and the Bandit and the Firebird Trans Am and all this wonderful stuff in the United States. This Trabant, you had to stop and check the gas with a dipstick under the hood, mix oil and gas together. There wasn't even a gas gauge inside this car in the 1980s. And there was a waiting list of like 10 years to get one of these things. And it was your only choice if you lived there. That's the problem with government central planning, is that a car company like that in the United States would get run out of business by somebody else who's experimenting and trying to do something better.
Yeah.
It's not that the Soviets didn't know how to do gas gauges. In fact, they were beating us in the space race at this point.
Wow.
The problem is under central planning, there's no incentive to bring to bear that knowledge in a way that benefits consumers because you're not under competition with other people.
Yeah.
And it's that competition that allows people like you with a crazy idea that nobody else believes in to try and start it up.
Yep.
They're currently in history.
I have another idea right now in my head. I don't want to, I don't want to say it, somebody steal it, but, and it's got to do with technology, something that we all use every day. Because I remember when I heard that a guy invented interval windshield wipers, right? He didn't invent windshield wipers. He invented the thing that makes it go intervally, right? And I was like, wow, that was brilliant. You don't have to invent the thing, but just something to make the thing better, right?
That's correct. In fact, there's a lot of very good stories about that. In fact, the first guy who invented the windshield wipers had such a hard time because our government wanted to ban them because they were worried it would distract drivers to have something moving around in front of them.
Wow.
Another example of government central planning. We need the government has a very important role under free markets, and that's to provide the rule of law, contract enforcement, national defense, protect us so that we have to engage in voluntary exchange with one another, and we're not dealing with each other with violence and fraud. That's
right.
An important part of the market economy. But otherwise, the government needs to get out of the way of the market. Lower taxes and regulations, cut expenditures, get this crazy debt under control. I mean, our interest payments on the debt now are more than national defense and Medicare. It's skyrocketing. The government needs to get out of the way of the market, and I think that doing so is one of the main paths that we need to do to move forward to create a prosperous economy.
We got to write that one down. The government needs to get out of the way of the markets. I mean, that's just exactly right. The report that you wrote for the Show Me Institute, Why Markets Matter for Human Progress and Prosperity. Where do we find that?
That's on the Show Me Institute's website, and they have also posted links to Twitter, so you can access it free from them. It's meant for a general audience. It's not very long. It's got a lot of great examples. So if there's somebody in your life you'd like to, if you're a listener and there's people in your life who you think could benefit from learning a little bit more about why freedom in markets matters, and then it'll be a great report to share with anybody. It's wrote for the average person and makes a lot of good arguments and points about why entrepreneurship and individual freedom and prosperity are so important to our country's success.
And why the free market is always better than government mandate, right? Government mandate's never good, right? Look, I'm learning already.
The problem with government generally is it's not the people. Too many people think it's just about getting the right people elected. The problem in government is a problem of incentives. It's a real quick example. My former department chair, the most frugal person I've ever met in my life, drove a beat-up car, never went out for fancy dinners, but at the end of the fiscal year would always send out an email saying, hey guys, we got money left in the budget. We're going to lose it if we don't spend it and get next year's budget cut. Please help me spend this money.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is it's not about getting a frugal person in charge of the budget to get the budget under control. The problem is in government, the incentives are different. And it's fixing those incentives that is so critical. I mean, Elon Musk is basically handling our space program now for 1/10 the cost of NASA.
Right. All right, listen, it's been great talking to you. Russell Sobel, professor of economics and entrepreneurship at the Baker School of Business at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. Again, his paper you can find on showmeinstitute.org is Why Markets Matter for Human Progress and Prosperity. Fascinating conversation. Doctor, you're a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Sobel, sorry.
That's fine.
Thanks for being with us.
All right, Vic. Thank you for having me today. It was great to be with you.
Nice to be with you, too. Free market is how it always used to be, Ken.
Yeah.
Until the government gets their nose into things.
Yeah, they'll destroy it. That will kill it. And that's what's happening with the Biden administration. They are killing innovation. I want to throw my hat in the thing, something I did about maybe 20 years ago. Spray cans, spray paint cans. I came up with my own device to squeeze the actual can, and it would make so your hand wouldn't hurt.
Oh.
Your finger wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, they came out with them. But I used my own for a little while.
Good ideas are good ideas. I'll tell you mine when we turn off the mic.
Okay.
Just don't steal it.
You sure?
Hey.
All right.
So last night I'm listening to Vic at Night, right? And all of a sudden, Tony Colombo breaks in.
Yeah.
Hey, the convention's going on. Now, obviously, he called me, asked me to come on. So Tony and I had a cool little conversation. You can hear on the podcast anytime.
Awesome.
All right. So wherever you find podcasts, look us up. Look up this show. Give us a like. For goodness sakes, give us a like. Okay. And the one and only King, Larry Connors, is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Call the insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
In the media.
101.9 and 94.1.
They lying about what's going on in America. They lying about it.
News Talk STL.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to bring you the best price ever on my exclusive Gaza Dream bed sheets. If you're on the front line fighting Hamas, you need the best sleep possible on my exclusive Gaza Dream bed sheets, made from the finest cotton in the world, grown only in a region between the Golan Heights, the Dead Sea, and the West Bank. My Gaza Dream bed sheets will get you the great night's sleep you need to kill Hamas terrorists. Order now and get a pair of my pillow slippers to sneak up on those Hamas terrorists. Use the number on your screen and use the promo code SHALOM. Please order now.
Hey, sand volleyball junkies. Feel the rush and show off your skills for our brave first responders. Join the David Dorn Foundation's Top Gun Maverick Sand Volleyball Fundraiser Tournament Saturday, August 31st. Enjoy Oh So Good Barbecue from Sugarfire, a splat gun tent for an energy charge, and DJ Peasy Montana to keep you entertained. Saturday, August 31st at the Sugarfire location in Wentzville. To protect, to serve, to spike. Sign up today at dornfoundation.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue. And after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates. So there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Feel the sizzling heat of summer savings at Seidenstricker Novi Partners. Rev up your summer on a John Deere compact tractor with 0% financing for 84 months with zero down. Or get 0% financing for 60 months with additional savings. It's time to elevate your equipment game. Don't let this sizzling hot deal slip away. Seidenstricker Novi, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 7/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Tim Jones here with Dr. Pat Fader of Comprehensive Chiropractic. Doc, I hear you all have a new treatment program for everyone's chronic knee pain.
Tim, that's right. We are helping patients with chronic knee pain by addressing the root cause of their condition.
And what makes your program so unique?
Well, Tim, many programs focus on just one component of the problem, the structural component. Our program focuses on the metabolic and neurological component to complete the picture and improve our patients' outcomes. We get to the root cause of what is driving inflammation in a person's body and address it directly.
For your chronic knee pain and more, visit cchiropractic.com. All information, make an appointment at cchiropractic.com.
Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the NewstalkSTL app in the App Store or at NewstalkSTL.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
You're funny. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. What do you mean funny?
On NewstalkSTL.
And I promise you one more thing. To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and all the forgotten communities in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and every corner of our nation, I promise you this: I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
Mentioning all those Rust Belt states that we need to win, right?
Yep.
Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan need those states. J.D. Vance, soon to be the new vice president after November 5th. And I think this guy wants to talk about him. So let's get into Mr. Connor's neighborhood. He looks like he's jumping out of his seat to talk about J.D. Vance.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's neighborhood.
Mr. Connors, good morning.
Gentlemen, thank you for inviting me in. I know Ken had some, I think, very astute comments on J.D. Vance. I'd like to hear yours be shared with the audience before I start.
Okay. I just have two real quick points. One is that they're claiming that he doesn't have the experience to do the job. Well, let's rewind to back when Obama was running for president, and all he did as a senator was vote present. So, and not for nearly as long as J.D. Vance.
Right.
The other part of it is just simply that he
didn't like Trump.
Oh, that's right.
And Kamala didn't like Joe.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, he said some real logical things that he needed to have cleared with Trump in order to like him. And Kamala Harris was on the debate stage with Biden calling him a racist.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
I mean, it's one thing you have political difference. When you call somebody a racist and yet you can still find a way to come together, you know, that's, it's not a marriage made in heaven. Let me put it that way. My view of J.D. Vance, and I'm running a commentary today, at 7:30 was the first one today. And 12:03 and 3:30.
Yes, sir.
Pointing out something that really stands out, because Trump's speech last night really was galvanizing, bringing unity and everything else. He mentioned Biden only twice, did not go on the attack to that extent. So he kept it, I think, again, free of the hate and rhetoric language that they continue to claim, and they continue to do on the other side. Joy Reid claiming, well, what about that 9-second photo op he got the other day after he got shot? Well, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, that's kind of nonsense. But as far as the commentary today, and I'll re-stress it here, we have a president and a vice presidential candidate, and soon to be president and vice president, that are born on opposite sides of the railroad track.
Mm-hmm.
Donald born with a golden spoon in his mouth, and J.D. Vance on the other side
with nothing.
Addictions in his family, job loss in a community that was dying, and no one could do anything there, and you could wait to get out of there if you could. I mean, this is, again, he's pointing out he has more in common with the American people than Trump does, but they both can be leaders for us.
Absolutely right. And with some experience, 4 years of experience as vice president, step in and take over would be okay.
I think that's what Trump was really looking for down the line. Not just somebody for this right now, but to follow it.
So we can say something?
No.
Larry, you have covered many a convention, Republic and Democrat.
Yeah, when we used to do it, yeah.
Compare this one to what did you think about this particular convention?
I thought it was outstanding. I mean, it was unified from the beginning. It had a theme every night that they stuck to, and it was really strong. I didn't hear a lot of the speeches that Tim Jones did, our speaker Tim Jones, with Jones and Arp's program, of the more common people that brought up that were not big names, and he said they were some of the more invigorating speeches, even in the big names in the evening. But still,
the EDAs, everyday Americans.
Yes, that's exactly right. I mean,
I think that's brilliant.
I do too.
Totally. And the music, the energy. How are they going to muster energy at the Chicago Democratic Convention at all?
In a party that has no energy.
Right, that has no energy. And Joe Biden, again, being pressed and insisting, I'm going to stay, but Pelosi is now, according to numerous sources, has had a private conversation with him, said, you need to get out of the way.
Yep.
Adam Schiff came out publicly and said, get out of the way.
Yeah, he needs to get out of everything.
So, and they're going in and they don't have a direction. He's in the middle of the railroad track. They can't get him to move.
Right. All right. So I don't want to bring up a downer here, so we'll just do it and move on. But the gear, the equipment gear.
The fire equipment.
Yeah.
Yes.
On stage. Did you see that?
Yes.
I got very teary watching that.
I did too. And yet the haters out there, the fact that Trump then walked over and kind of kissed the helmet, they say, oh, it's all stage and photo.
What?
If Biden, I come back to the point that with the shooting itself, if Biden had been the one on the stage and there'd been that many failures to protect our president, and I want our president protected. I don't care if it's political points. If he's our president, I want him protected. If there'd been that many failures, the left would be crawling up the wall, coming out of every sewer gate, claiming that, there was some kind of setup as a conspiracy, MAGA conspiracy to get him killed, and they got inside the Secret Service.
Right.
But now they want to kind of just say nothing. Now, next Monday, Cheadle, the Secret Service chief, is supposed to start testifying in public, and I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Well, she better show up, because if she doesn't, she better go to jail like Navarro did.
Yeah, like Navarro did.
And how about Navarro getting out of jail?
I love that. I love that. So hours earlier, I was in jail and walked out of federal prison, and here I am.
Yeah, he was so excited, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Happy as could be.
Yeah.
So some of the things, Donald Trump's 17-year-old granddaughter.
Oh, what
Kai,
a great speech.
What hit me the most, Larry, was
Grandpa.
Yeah, when he used to sneak me candy and money when my parents were. That's the most grandpa thing ever to do, isn't it?
And I love the part when she said he would call me and just ask how school's going and how am I getting good grades. And I'd say, Grandpa, I love you, but I've got to get off the phone. I'm at school right now.
Right.
Can you imagine the president of the United States? Oh my God, that's awesome.
And then to contrast in age, the 98-year-old World War II veteran who spoke, who said, if Donald Trump is our commander in chief, I'll re-enlist again.
I know. I love that line.
That gave me chills.
I mean, and I loved his line. They said, I'm not trying to win half of America. We need all of America.
Yes.
That's called uniting, right?
That's right.
And to that point, you have it was an Amber Rose. She came up and she made a great. I thought it was a great. And she's
one of those strange characters, but at the same time, the party's opening the tent,
and she's got millions of followers.
Yes,
but even that, I mean, she's a human being,
yes,
right,
and she's willing to be open,
right?
And,
do her research. She did her research.
She did her research. I don't care what her background was. Do we ask everybody else what their background is? No, and you don't want anyone to know my background either. I mean, it's just everybody has a background.
I know your background. And the reason I keep it silent is because you keep the payments coming.
Oh, good. Thank you.
When the payments stop, Ken.
Yeah, I'm never going to stop them, believe me.
But again, Amber Rose is one of those that it is part of our society, and she is a human being. And we're all sinners anyway. I don't care what sins you have or haven't committed. You're a sinner. And for her to stand up there, and if she did bring in a lot of the young vote that was undecided, good. That's the point. To enlarge the tent.
Speaking of we're all sinners, the black pastor from the church in Detroit,
right,
who said, if I were a billionaire, and I could spend, because it was on his birthday weekend that Trump visited the church. He goes, I could be on a yacht somewhere. I could be at Mar-a-Lago. I could be in New York City. But Donald Trump came into the hood. And I'm assuming that means the hood.
Right.
Yeah, the hood.
And
Yeah.
talk to the people. I thought that was great. Last night, I hope that nobody's getting sick of the story because I've told it 3 times already. I was joking with my wife when I heard that Hulk Hogan was going to be there.
Yeah.
And I said, what's he going to do? Say, hey, brother, you better vote for Donald Trump. I'll be damned.
Sure enough.
That's what he did.
And took off a jacket and had one shirt and then ripped that shirt and had the Trump Vance shirt under it. I mean,
it sounds so crazy that you have to be brave just to support Donald Trump to not get canceled.
That's the point about Amber Rose I was getting ready to make a moment ago. She's taken a gamble on all these followers and that kind of that societal area she's in.
Yep.
That can say, oh, no, we're turning our back on you. But I haven't seen the backlash.
Yeah, right.
And one other thing, Melania Trump, her entrance and everything, I thought that was just stunning.
Beautiful.
And I've got a little advice for publications. You want to sell 80 million copies?
Yeah.
Get her on the cover. Be the first one to do it.
Yeah.
To that extent, there's a story going around. I have seen different ones. I haven't nailed down exactly, but Time Magazine has re-edited the photo, the iconic photo of Trump up there raising his fist with the blood coming down. And they have taken the American flag out of it, and they're still going to apparently put it on the cover. I mean, this is every Time Magazine photo in every collection of iconic photos. This would stand out. I mean, just like Kennedy slooping down in the car and the agent trying to climb onto the back. I mean, there's certain things, and you don't start Mickey Mousing around with that.
No, Vic said that exact thing when you were so enamored with that photo. You said this is going to last 100 years.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Photo of the century.
It'll be. And it should be. And again, despite that, he shows up and says, shouldn't be here.
Right.
He said, and that's true. He shouldn't be there. And again, all the failures and the Secret Service attitude that, we couldn't really get up there as a slope roof. So you're going to tell me a 20-plus-year-old kid can get up on a roof and Secret Tactical Service agents cannot get on the roof? And then we were told also that some were up there but got too hot and they got off.
Something's fishy.
And then there's that tower that's about a mile away. That is a long-range shot, and that would take a precision shot. I don't know yet who shot what, when, where, how many.
So you're a Marine, right?
Always.
Plenty of ballistic experience, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, and if you don't want to answer this,
no, I want to answer it for you right now. I'll tell you.
Do you think there was a second shooter?
Now that I don't know. I don't know. But I will say this. The kid was in his rifle team at high school. Apparently they kicked him off because he wasn't that good. I don't know if that's true. I haven't even bothered checking into it. But at 150 yards, I discussed this with the Marine Lieutenant Colonel Dakota Wood, with Heritage Foundation, now on his own with Hot Gates Consulting. There are 3 stages of riflemanship in the Marines. You have a marksman, a sharpshooter, an expert. Expert are the 2 cross rifles. If you see a Marine with 2 cross rifles on their vest, that means they're an expert. To be an expert, you have to be able to, at 500 yards with iron sights, shoot something about the size of a small dinner plate and put all 10 shots inside that dinner plate. Now, if a subject is moving, that has to be adjusted. So this is a stationary, but still at 500 yards, iron sights. That's how you get to be to that level. And every SWAT team member out there is that good or even better. That they could get inside a styrofoam cup, basically.
So was Kyle an expert? What was his first name?
What are you talking about? The shooter?
Yeah, the
American shooter.
I don't even use his name. I've yet to use his name.
Oh, okay.
If I did, I'd put.
No. I'm talking about the guy. His last name was
the American,
Kyle.
the American shooter, the American.
Oh yes.
Sniper.
Obviously he was. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got a good friend who was a sniper in Afghanistan and I think Iran. I can't recall now. He's been out for a few years and he's an expert. And in fact, every expert rifleman, they try to pull him into sniper school. And I started to, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm sorry. We got to wrap it up.
Okay.
Go ahead, hit it. We'll just talk about it. Damn it.
Mr. Connor's
It just goes way too
on
fast.
the Vic Porcelli Show.
6 to 8 o'clock. You did it to me again.
7:30
Wednesday night.
Oh,
I was going to get food to go, sitting in my driveway. The segments are so great, Larry. I don't know what to say.
Last night I had a Secret Service agent on talking about what should have been done and all the failures.
We got to find some of that and play it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can find that on the podcast too.
Yes, sir.
Commentary. Don't tell me. 7:30, 12:03, 3:30.
Damn, you're good.
Larry, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Great, Larry.
Love you. Bless you.
Boy, I didn't think about him. Here's a guy who has, marine experience.
Yeah.
Something fishy about that, Larry. All right, Jay Ashcroft, our Secretary of State, is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
It's Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
We'll speak with Dave Wassinger. He's Lieutenant Governor candidate on his time at the RNC convention. And at 5:20, we'll speak with the Show Me Institute's Patrick Toohey.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Libs and never Trumpers. Do you wake up every morning to the ringing of Trump's voice in your head? You may suffer from moderate to severe Trump derangement syndrome or TDS. There is hope. New MAGA Strength Trumpinol. Magadonian approved.
I had it really bad, so I take the Ultra MAGA Trumpinol with extra Kofifi. And now, instead of calling him criminal, I kind of like the bastard.
Side effects may include the desire to become pro-life, question the media, defund Ukraine, support Israel, wave the American flag, close the border. Ask your doctor if Trumpinol is right for you. Make yourself great again with new Trumpinol.
Attention voters. The truth about Phil Cristofanelli may surprise you.
As state representative, Phil was endorsed by Promo, a Democrat-led LGBTQIA+ organization with extreme views.
Promo pushes for sex changes for kids, males and girls sports and bathrooms, and teaching gender confusion in schools.
Phil's record speaks for itself.
He voted to allow boys and girls sports.
And pushed to teach sexual orientation and gender identity in public schools.
Is this the leadership we want? Think carefully when you vote.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John Royal, Treasurer.
Hey, Columbo here for the great cleaning pros at Zero Res. Summertime in St. Louis means barbecues, graduation parties, and spending time with friends and family. And Zero Res knows how important it is to have your home as clean and healthy as possible for your loved ones. So they have an amazing summer offer for you. Book a cleaning in July and mention the Columbo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 and a 4th room free. Just mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886. Or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you in part by Modern Weapons Systems in Fenton. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
No?
Tonight, I make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
You bet. Here's our 45th and 47th president, Donald Trump, last night from the convention. We will drill, baby, drill. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft joins us as he does every Friday. How you doing? Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! I am doing great. My voice is shot, and I am still asleep from that speech, but it was awesome. Happy birthday to the radio station.
Thank
you. God bless America. God bless Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States.
All right. And I want it to catch on. I'm telling you, I want people to start calling him Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump. Because I'm telling you, Mr. Secretary, they're going to talk about it on the news when he's elected. Not since Grover Cleveland was our 22nd and 24th president.
Yeah.
And we've been saying it for a year already. So get with the program, America. All right. Let's talk about voting. One thing that I want to talk about is when you go to vote and you get those referenda questions, I'm like, I don't even know what this means. You can get one in advance, though, and read it and study it and research it, right?
Yeah, and anybody that wants the full language of those referendums or those statewide issues are on the Secretary of State's website, sos.mo.gov. We will have the full language of them posted at your polling place. If you see what looks like a bed sheet hanging on the wall, that will have the language. But it's best if people get that sample ballot. People are tired of me saying this. Get a sample ballot from your local election authority, your board of elections, your county clerk. You can read it, see what's on the ballot, see what you need to research. You can even mark that sample ballot so you know how you're going to want to vote and take that in with you.
And July 23rd, sort this all out for us. We have July 23rd, no excuse, in-person voting begins. July 24th, last day to request a ballot by mail. Can you just request? Well, I guess you just talked about the ballot by mail. Again.
For people that want to request an absentee ballot and they cannot be in the election jurisdiction on that day, or they're homebound, that sort of thing, they just can't leave their house because of some sort of physical, mental concern, they can request an absentee ballot to be mailed to them up until July 24th. But what I will tell you is this: don't do it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're seeing the post office take over 2 weeks at times to mail out an absentee ballot. If it then takes 2 weeks to get that ballot back, then that would mean your ballot would not be counted. It would not get to the election authority in time. So do whatever you can to get and vote in person. Yep. And 2 weeks before the election, you don't have to have an excuse. You don't have to say that you're going to be out of the country or something like that. You can just go vote early in person. But you must show your government-issued photo ID. There will not be any provisional ballots so that we have good chain of custody. We know that only people allowed to vote are voting. But if you do it in person, you don't have to worry about the post office. You can make sure it happens. If you won $500 million in the lottery and had to send a ticket back to Jeff City, you're not just going to drop it in the mail or tape it to a postcard. You're going to convoy down with some friends to make sure it gets there. Treat your vote the same way.
Now, you're an expert on elections. This is just a philosophical question, Mr. Secretary. Are we too far past to be able to get back to election day, one vote, one day? How do you, Kenny, how's it go? One vote. You always say
we can get close to that. We do have to remember that some of our nation's finest young men and women are in some of the worst places around the world, protecting our liberties, defending America. So whatever we do, we have to make sure that our military individuals can vote, even when Uncle Sam has sent them who knows where. But beyond that, there's a lot that we can do to go say, yes, in person on Election Day voting. One of the things that I got passed in 2022 was we no longer send tens or 100 plus ballots to an assisted living facility. We now send a bipartisan team to vote those individuals in person to make sure that the individual that's supposed to be voting is the one that's voting and that the vote does count.
And on this show, Mr. Secretary, it's 1 day, 1 ballot, 1 vote.
There you go. All right. So is 12 years enough time? Because if when Donald Trump wins in November, maybe J.D. Vance wins and then wins re-election, that's 12 years. Is that enough time to get it all back to a 1 day? Say it again, Ken. I'm sorry.
1 day, 1 ballot, 1 vote.
To that?
I think we can, especially in Missouri. I think other states like California, maybe they're just lost, but maybe we can shame them into doing the right thing.
All right. Let's talk about Bob Menendez, New Jersey senator. Not that everybody from New Jersey is corrupt, I'd like to say. But he was acquitted once on kind of bribery charges, the same thing, and now convicted. What do you think about that whole story?
Well, when they said he liked to wear fancy suits, I didn't realize they were so fancy that they sewed gold bars into the suit coat and the suit jacket. Look, it is. I don't know all the facts, but when you're stashing cash and gold bars in your clothing, when hundreds of thousands of dollars are coming in from foreign governments, and you just so happen to vote a certain way the day after you got the gold bars and the cash, good riddance to bad rubbish. Lock him up and throw away the key.
I'll tell you what, I'm from New Jersey, and I'm with you right there. So here's a something. I tell you what, Ken's been talking about this since the day we started this show together. A multi-state lawsuit challenging a Biden executive order aimed at registering 3.5 million new voters before Election Day that are not citizens. What do you think about that?
I think the executive order 14019 is egregious. That lawsuit was filed down in Texas. I would just tell you that there will be more lawsuits on that filed in different court districts. We're going to make sure that executive order is thrown out. It is unconstitutional. Article 1, Section 1, and the 17th Amendment of the United States Constitution grant authority over registration to states. The federal government has no general authority over that. What that executive order tries to do is unconstitutional, and it will be stopped.
All right, let's talk about the convention. You were there. What was the energy like? First of all, what was the energy like? And second of all, is this a united Republican Party or not?
Yes, it is a united party. There are differences of opinion in the party. We're individuals. We like to argue, but there are no differences with respect to the fact that we need Donald J. Trump as our president. I may have misled some people the other day. I said that the energy was like a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
It was well beyond that last night. It was, I can't explain it, but when Donald Trump walked out on that stage, when he was there and addressing, it was just incredible. I mean, his speech was like 93 minutes. I never sat down.
No,
I
me
just
neither.
stood up. I mean, it just seemed wrong to sit down on Donald Trump.
It's kind of like the excitement of the Cardinals winning the World Series, right?
It was better.
Well, okay, very good, very good.
Nice.
All right, so you're running for governor, we hear. Is that true? You're running for governor? I had no idea.
I am 18 days away. It's looking great. We're going to turn this state around and make sure the people of the state are in charge, not special interests in the swamp.
So you, Bill Eigel, Mike Kehoe, you guys could all kind of wrestle at one time, right? You can all have like a steel cage match kind of a thing.
Be fine by me.
Campaign website you can tell us about?
AshcroftForMissouri.com, Ashcroft for Missouri on Facebook, or at JAshcroftMo on X.
All right. That's why your voice isn't good, because you were yelling at the convention.
Right.
Yelling and screaming. Oh, it was awesome.
I love it.
High-fiving complete strangers. Yeah.
Honey and lemon, Mr. Secretary. Honey and lemon.
Doctor says honey and lemon. Dr. Williams. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. We'll talk next week.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
It's Friday.
Hey, today is our birthday.
Yes.
All right. July 19th of 2021. We signed on the air. Jeff and Joe and Jim and Tony.
Yeah.
And Katie.
Yeah.
All the main components of who got this thing going. And Jeff called me and asked me if I wanted to be on. Yeah, of course I do, right? And then I find out Ken Williams is going to be at the station, a guy that we worked together for 100 years.
Yeah.
And Paul Cook, the famous Paul Cook story. When I saw him, I squeezed him so hard, I think I broke a rib. I didn't know Katie, you know. I knew Jeff. I didn't know Joe. I think that's it. Everybody else was a stranger to me.
Yeah.
And now look at us.
And a lot of us came over from the old place that used to be, and now we're it. We're the thing. We're the number one. So I just think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. I think the people, the culture here and the environment, I've never worked in a radio station so good.
Kenny, me either. And, you know, you and I got to work together, kind of. We didn't really get to work together. I mean, we worked.
Right. I filled in for you at times. But
now we're
slept when I was working.
We're right there, man.
Yeah,
shoulder
yeah.
to shoulder.
Yeah.
Marching shoulder to shoulder.
I kind of like the marching soldiers to shoulder.
It's always been a stick, but it's almost like
rural.
Timmy.
I don't know why.
All right, hour number 2 is on the way. I know what you're saying. I got it. Okay?
Yeah.
You're making fun of me.
Rural.
Susie Moore. Yeah, but the Timmy thing was because I'm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor of RedState.com, is coming up at 10:05. Wheel of Audio Clips at 10:41. Chat box, I promise, at 10:25. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home and whoosh.
Whoosh. From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding for Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Bill Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Hey, Columbo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Digging without having your underground utilities marked is like driving with your eyes closed. It's dangerous and irresponsible. Before you break ground, contact Missouri 811 online or simply call 811 to request a utility locate 3 working days before starting. Missouri 811 will coordinate with the utility companies who clearly mark their lines so you can avoid the hazards. Requesting a locate is smart, and it's the law. Safety is in your hands. Every dig, every time. This ad is brought to you by Missouri 811.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. There is speculation of a possible prisoner swap between the U.S. and Russia now that Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich has been convicted of espionage, sentenced to 16 years in a Russian penal colony. Gershkovich, his employer, and the U.S. government all reject the allegations of spying. Following his brush with death last weekend, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump tells a Republican convention,
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
but he was there.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
Accepting the GOP nomination for a third time, Donald Trump appealed for national unity and then described the assassination attempt in personal terms.
In a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side.
He called for healing, said the country must be rescued from failed leadership, and vowed to be a president for all of America, not half of America. At the Republican National Convention, Greg Clugston, Milwaukee.
Isolated at his Delaware beach house with a case of COVID, President Biden is facing growing pressure from some prominent Democrats to abandon his bid for re-election. It's something the Biden campaign says the president has no plans to do. World Wide Web was a worldwide mess for a time this morning, a global internet outage impacting airlines, hospitals, and 911 emergency services, a host of businesses from banking to broadcasting. Microsoft says it's working to handle the problem, and things are said to be slowly improving across the World Wide Web. On Wall Street, stocks in negative territory. The Dow is down 272 points. The Nasdaq off 31, and the S&P 12 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill being over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. What a beautiful day today. Mostly sunny skies and a high of 81, well below the normal of 90. So let's enjoy this. Low humidity and below normal, nice warm July day. Overnight, a low of 64 degrees. Let's watch for some patchy fog early Saturday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies and a high of 84 in the afternoon. Humidity remaining low. Now on Sunday, the humidity creeps up just a little bit, but nothing too excessive. A high of 84, mostly cloudy skies, so more cloud cover. And again, a touch more humid, but staying dry Sunday. Next rain chance arrives on Monday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 2 ready to roll. Susie Moore and Wheel of Audio Clips and the chat box. Ken, chat box. We didn't go to the chat box at all yesterday. We are terrible radio hosts, you and me. Terrible. All right, we got some phone calls. Got to make it quick, everybody. Let's start with Dave. Dave, go.
Hi, Dave.
You're correct. You are terrible. That's why I love you, my friend. And happy birthday!
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. 3 years, and you were the very first caller to this radio show.
Well, I thank you for taking as me being your first caller, and I was absolutely shocked. It's something that I'll always remember, and I just need your autograph so I could die a happy man.
What, on a check?
Check, yeah.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Yeah,
That'll be fine.
yeah.
Hey, Kenny, did you tell Vic the question that I asked you? Because between you two, I know you guys will figure it out. I'll let you tell him off the air. Vic, it's nothing to do with you, so don't get offended.
No,
okay?
it's about music.
Everything has to do with me, okay? And listen.
Oh, my God, you sound like a woman.
And you were the first person to call, but 40 Grand Battery sent us Chick-fil-A sandwiches yesterday. I'm just saying.
Hey, thanks, 40 grand, by the way.
I appreciate that. All right, Dave, thank you, baby. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
See you, Dave.
Guys, love you. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Sounds like the Secretary of State. Zena Hackworth, our love. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
We're good. Coming back from the convention, are you?
On my way home now. I'm in the car with my friend Paula, and she's riding along with me.
Hi, Paula.
So what was the energy like, Zena?
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible the entire time. I want to say also the Gold Star family.
Yeah.
That touched us, touched everyone. It touched me incredibly because it was just the moment when they walked out on stage. No one could. I mean, we all stood up because we were so honored that they were there. But then no one for the entire time could sit down because normally you'll sit down and listen. No one could sit down, and I don't know if there was a dry eye in the room.
And Joe
And I
Biden.
think at that moment is when Joe Biden started thinking perhaps he should drop out of this race.
Because he's never mentioned any of their names. Am I right?
None of their names. And one of the things I thought was incredible as well is when they started reading, when the gentleman was reading off the names, they would read the name and then the entire crowd would say the name right after him.
Right.
So
Zena,
we were repeating the names as well.
drive safe home. And next time you get a chance, come on in and tell us some convention stories, okay?
I will do that. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
See you, Zena and Paula.
Steve. Steve's up next. Steve? There we go. Okay.
Yeah, hey,
What's up, man? What's on your mind?
So, 16 years ago tomorrow, my wife became the luckiest woman on earth.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's when you
How
married
that
her?
happened? That's what I said I does.
Do you think she words it that way?
Well, she will admit that I've told her this a couple of times. Bad luck is still luck.
right. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all.
That's right. So I just want to tell her happy anniversary again.
Well, happy anniversary to you and your wife.
It's been a great ride.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steve.
All right, buddy. You have a great day.
You too. Sean, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Vic and Ken. Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. I
For real
appreciate it. You've been a follower of this show for sure and this station right from the beginning, so we totally appreciate it.
Yeah, Sean.
Hey, no worries. I love it. You know, you guys keep all of us informed. But I do have a real quick question for you.
Yep.
How are you guys so excited about Chick-fil-A instead of emos?
Oh, you know what?
It was the most recent food brought to the station.
All right.
Sean was the
I'll
first.
send you guys some out next week.
You were, yeah. You know what? Kenny's right. You were the first person to bring us food, so you'll always have that status.
But thanks, 40
Hey,
grand. We
how do you-
appreciate it.
How do you keep a jolly big guy happy? You feed him.
Right.
From one jolly fat guy to any other fat guy out there. Hey, Sean, thank you so much, man.
Love you, man.
No worries, guys. You too, guys. Bye.
Let's go.
Oh, no? I want all these different buttons I've been having to push. I had to move something around. There we go.
Oh, Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
I'm walking on sunshine.
No? I'm fine with that.
I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning.
Whatever. It's our third birthday today, but we're not the only person celebrating a birthday. RedState.com celebrates a birthday, and the deputy managing editor of Red State always joins us on Friday. Happy birthday to you guys.
Well, thank you, and happy birthday to News Talk STL. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years, huh?
It really has gone by quick, I'll tell you. And it's funny that hour by hour, like that last hour, our first hour went by. It seemed like in 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, you must be having fun.
oh yeah, you know that. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't having fun. Trust me. All right. So convention thoughts, young lady. I know it's a vague thing, but what's the first thing that jumps out at you?
I thought it was very well put together. I think it speaks well of the new team at the RNC. I thought most of the speakers were fantastic. And as much as it was sort of overwhelming and exhausting to try and cover all of the nights of it, I still was engaged and found it entertaining, and I'm glad that I was able to watch it all.
I thought that his speech was great. I had heard earlier in the day, well, we had all heard that he ripped up the first one that he wrote and wrote a completely different speech. And when I say he wrote it, he wrote it.
Yeah.
It's not like Biden where somebody
Oh,
writes
yeah, that's
for him.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and he said he wasn't going to say Biden's name at all. I think he said it once or twice, and even said, "Okay, I'll say it." You know, he said,
Yeah.
But I thought otherwise. I thought it was a uniting speech. Of course, the left won't say that, but I think it was.
Oh, I thought it was too. If I'm being completely honest, I wish about the middle 40 minutes of it had just been excised, because I feel like that was the Trump rally speech, and what we really were there for, and what I really appreciated from him and thought was phenomenal was the beginning, and kind of walking through what happened Saturday and the impact it's had on everything, and then his wrap up of it. So, I mean, you know, it's his convention, it's his nomination, so he gets to do what he wants. But I could have probably done with about a 40-minute shorter speech.
See, that's where I am in contrast, because I think, you know, the longer that guy speaks, I think it just shows his stamina, his ability to capture people. And I know it does get a little wonky sometimes, but man, he was just on fire. There were people that we just talked with Jay Ashcroft, and he said you couldn't sit down. There were 90 minutes of standing up. He goes, "There's no way you're going to sit down for this guy." But can you imagine? It's Donald Trump. He's standing up the whole time too.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's right.
And I think he got to say some things he didn't get a chance to say on Saturday.
Probably.
Oh, we haven't
Probably the
talked to
case.
Susie since
No.
My God.
No.
All right, so let's bring it up
I
this way.
texted you. I texted
Yes.
you that
Yes.
day.
Yep. But let's start with an article that you wrote. Josh Hawley says that. Hold on, let me read it here. Josh Hawley says that whistleblowers say most Trump rally security were not even Secret Service. I mean, I thought they were just the B team. I guess they were just the cheerleaders.
Well, according to what Hawley is reporting this morning, he opened up basically a tip line for whistleblowers, I think, on Wednesday, and has already been peppering DHS with questions about what went wrong here, because there were so many security failures, like a perfect storm of them. But he is now being told by whistleblowers that some of the, you know, the sub-ins, the fill-ins were not even formally trained Secret Service, but rather instead from the Homeland Security Investigations Unit, which are, you know, they're law enforcement, but they're not trained in the same way and the same methods that Secret Service are. Now, I don't know that means necessarily the people that were directly around Trump. It might have been the, you know, and obviously there was more than, 10 people there as security detail. But in any event, it does sound like there were lax, at best, protocols, and they kind of let down their guard, and it raises even more questions. It seems like every day we learn more information, and all that does is raise more questions.
The head of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, is expected to testify tomorrow. I don't want to put you on the spot, Susie, if you don't know.
You mean Monday?
I'm sorry, on Monday. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you know if it's a House committee or a Senate committee or both? Do you know?
I don't
Sorry.
know. I feel like it's the House. I know, and the reason I say I feel like it's the House. I know that Christopher Wray is supposed to be testifying before the House next Thursday. I am assuming it's the House, but it could be both. I mean, the senators are asking questions too, and I just honestly, while we're talking, I may be able to find out, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, I hope it's both. I do hope that it's both, because I want to hear John Kennedy ask her questions. I want to hear Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley. I want some of these really great question askers
set up to where she can't wiggle around them.
Right. And you're
the House.
It's just the House?
It's oversight. Yep.
All
it's
right.
House
Well, that's fine
oversight.
too. But isn't it true, counselor, that you never ask a question you don't know the answer to?
Well, the sound strategy is yes. If you're cross-examining somebody, you want to ask questions that you already know the answer to. You're wanting to lead them to the information you want to get from them.
Okay. So I guess I don't know if we'll get answers. If she doesn't show up, I'm sorry, she needs to go to jail. Sorry.
Keep in mind too. I mean, we're still early in the information gathering stage, so there probably do need to be some open-ended questions because they just don't have the information yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This isn't as much, how many ways can we excoriate you as much as it is what the hell happened here? What's the information? So that they've got a base to go on from there.
Hey, Susie, I just want to pivot a little bit. There's this rumor going around that Joe Biden's not going to make it to the nomination. And if you've heard anything inside information that we could pass on to our listeners.
So the problem that we have here, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this too, is that we're getting conflicting inside information stories. So you'll get something like NBC came out with a report this morning. Oh, the family's discussing how he might make his exit. Well, that sounds like it's imminent. And then you'll hear sources close to Biden team say this is all bunk and blah, 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 blah.
Clyburn.
Now, what I think is really interesting is that, like yesterday, there was a couple reports that really made it seem like, oh, it's happening this weekend, and then there was pushback from supposedly sources close to the Bidens, and the sources, the pushback. If you look at their quotes, I'm like, that's Hunter. You can tell it was his. I mean, it was his syntax. It sounded exactly like something that Hunter would say. So Hunter's talking to people behind the scenes. He and Jill are scrambling. If they are actually getting ready to have him step back, they're working out whatever deals they can to make sure that they get the best exit that they can.
And Hunter's behind the scenes right now because they just sent out a report right now. He's trying so hard to get those cases dismissed on him.
Well, yes. I mean, that's what any criminal defendant should be doing at any point in time. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary in terms of what Hunter's attorneys are doing and the motions they're filing. He's got legal bases on which to at least make an argument that they should be dismissed. But, I mean, that's the funny thing of all. I mean, his dad's sitting there with a pardon in his pocket.
Right.
So, there's a lot of moving parts going on all at once. So it's just kind of fascinating to watch it. And, we're stuck because we want to report on the news that's coming out, but we want to, not give our readers whiplash,
Right.
but it's kind of hard not to.
It's impossible because of the different stories you get. And when you said that, you were talking about the media, and in my head, I was like, well, the Democrat Party has given us mixed messages and mixed, right? Schiff and Schumer says go, Clyburn says stay. I mean, I got to tell you, I am getting such a kick out of seeing nothing but disarray out of the Democrat Party.
It's kind of funny.
I love it.
Weren't so sad on top of it all. No, it is. It's humorous. It's like the Keystone Cops. And I will tell you this. I mean, Biden's circle of friends in the Democrat Party is shrinking like exponentially by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
He's been basically
exponentially
thrown under the bus. But, yeah, there you go. He's been thrown under the bus by just about everybody. So, at a certain point, how does he go forward when basically his entire party has said go? You can't function if you don't have a party behind you.
That's true.
Exponentially.
So you said it
There
wrong.
you go.
It's
Look at how well he was so enunciated that so clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Exponentially.
I will change that word.
And he was so sure of himself. Now he doesn't even know what his name is. So let's talk very quickly about the assassination attempt because we haven't had a chance to talk to you since. The fact that he got shot, right? I don't care if it was in the ear or in his thumb or where it was. He was shot and somehow thought, I got to tell these people that I'm with them and don't they stop fighting and I'm not going to stop fighting. And he did his fight thing. But I think it was extraordinary, Susie, that the crowd didn't scamper and create like a terrible situation by running all over the place. Everybody just stayed still.
I think you're right. And I think it was very, I don't know, it was very moving to me for him to focus on that last night in his speech and talk about how that struck him. Because when you watch that video, you're focused on him and the Secret Service agents piling on him and everything that's going on right around him. But yeah, the more you watch it and you realize, okay, there were other people that were hit. There was obviously the man that was killed. And that crowd, the photographers were still there taking the pictures. The crowd is still there, like looking to make sure he's okay. And there was a number of seconds before they said shooter's down.
Yeah.
And no one knew that there was only one shooter. So the fact that people have been talking about the hand of God and divine intervention and him tilting his head just the right way and that sort of thing. And I think there's something to that.
I do too.
But I also think the hand of God was there with that crowd.
I do too.
Because that could have
Susie.
gone so much worse.
Yep, absolutely.
We're watching it right now, and it looks like God has his hand saying, hold on, everybody.
And it's when he did the fight thing, people stood up and cheered. I don't know. It's just something very special going on with this campaign compared to other campaigns, even though the other ones were great. But there's just something different. Don't you think there's something different about this campaign?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we're in a completely different time. He's been through, and the country has been through so much. And then you just have this, wave of just astounding circumstances piling up on top of each other. So absolutely, this is a totally different campaign than 2020 or 2016.
Yeah. And I don't know if it'll always be unanswered questions, why they saw him an hour before and didn't at least detain him, why the cop that saw him on the roof. Okay, so the cop sees him on the roof, right? The kid points the gun at the cop. How long does it say, hey, he's on the roof? At 1 out of 12, whatever you say, he's on the roof. How long does that take?
My understanding is that was all instantaneous. In other words, the cop gets boosted up by his partner and is up over the edge of the roof. The kid turns and points his gun at him. The cop falls back, and then the kid turns back around and shoots.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were already looking into it. I think that was literally a matter of seconds.
But how many? Because here's the thing. Okay. He pointed his gun at the cop, and then he had to re-aim, whatever you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to recalibrate what you're going to do and shoot. And when you're talking about, FBI or Secret Service snipers, they should be able to act in an instant and take this guy out.
I agree with you on that part of it. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not prepared to say that the cops did anything wrong here.
No,
because it sounds to me like he was falling back.
Agree.
Totally agree with that.
I'm just saying that it took, how many I didn't word it very well at all. I apologize. So once again, the cop sees him. He sees the cop. He points the gun at the cop. Cop goes down. How long does it take, I guess, is my question, for him to radio to say, hey, the kid's up here with the gun, and then they shoot him? To me, with expert snipers, seconds.
I agree with you. What I'm saying is I think that all happened while the cop is falling down on the ground, and they're like, I don't think there was a chance for the cops to radio moment,
Okay.
but the
All right.
snipers were up there and they should have seen it.
Absolutely.
Snipers should have seen all this.
I don't know. It's pretty slopey roof. Pretty slopey roof there.
That is the most insane, weird excuse I have ever heard in my life. That woman needs to be fired just for that.
Oh.
Have you seen the video of a cow walking on the slope roof, having no problem whatsoever?
And that roof is even more
slopey.
Yes.
More slopey.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Susie, we're out of time, unfortunately. But once again, happy anniversary to redstate.com.
Yeah.
You guys kick ass. We love it. And Smoozy Q on Twitter, redstate.com. What else do you need to know? That's it, right? That's life in a nutshell, right?
That's all. That's all you need to know.
Thanks, Susie.
Thanks. Try to have a great weekend.
You too. So I didn't know that part. But yesterday, Tony was talking to Justin Sparks, the
WOOOOSH,
the state representative who hates us.
Yeah.
Because he never comes on our show.
Right.
And he brought that up. So a little bit more credible than the stupid fat Italian from New Jersey saying it. Here's a guy who has SWAT experience.
Right.
Saying, how long could it possibly have taken to, hey, and 1 out of 12, I don't know what you say.
Right. 1 out of 12.
1 out of 12, there's a guy on the roof. But, I don't know.
If I was on that radio trying to get their attention, I'd say 1 out of 12. 1 out of 12.
Right.
Just out of nerves.
1 out of 12. I watched TV in the 70s. 1 out of 12.
Let's go.
All right. Promise. Next. Chat box.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. That's next. On 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Like us on Facebook at NewstalkSTL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
You've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Correct! Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management is the guy for, so many things that you want about keeping your money, right? Tax efficient solutions to long-term care. We talk about that for quite a long time. And now he wants you to know that with taxes going up, how does that impact your financial future, right? Well, if Trump gets in, your taxes will go down, right? And that's when Chris Cooper will figure out how to navigate through those waters. But he also wants to make sure that you leave your money to your kids or a charity of your choice, whatever you decide, not the government deciding or the medical or care community just based on all the money it costs to have somebody in long-term care. There are ways around it, okay? And Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management is the guy that can steer you through it all, okay? So get the serenity you deserve. Reach out to Chris today. Go pay him a visit at his office in Lake St. Louis, right? Is that where it's Lake St. Louis? And take a look in there. Tell me it looks the same as any stuffy wealth management office. It doesn't. Picture a Kramer on the wall, a sign that says these pretzels are making me thirsty. It's a unique experience, okay? And he writes books not to make money, but to give to you. The new one is called The New Holistic Retirement. You can get it right now at SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity Now!
Missouri education officials must be bad poker players. They keep doubling down on the same bad bet. Public school students haven't been reading or doing math at their grade level for way too long. Last year, a horrifying 40% were regarded as not college or career ready after high school. Many states have adopted school choice. Iowa, Oklahoma, and Arkansas all provide money so families can choose the public or private school that works for them. And Kansas has one of the strongest public school choice programs in the nation. Nearly every family in Missouri is given exactly two choices for their children's education. They're assigned public school or learning online. That's it. Our neighbors trust their parents to choose the right school for their kids. Missouri doesn't. So enrollment is already shrinking. That will mean fewer high school graduates, college students, and workers. A bad bet indeed. Check out our 2024 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at ShowMeInstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point.
It's hell getting old, and it's hell watching someone you love get old. Father Time is a thief, and often a cruel one at that. We lost my dad to Alzheimer's 4 years ago. It was hard, and it was heartbreaking, as were the several years preceding it, though blessedly, his onset didn't come until he was in his early 80s. There came a time, though, when we had to take the car keys away to ensure his safety and that of others. He didn't put up much of a fuss. He got it in his head that it was due to his pacemaker. After trying to explain that wasn't it, we quit forcing the issue. He accepted the change in roles and responsibilities, and we adapted. When all is said and done, I don't know what Joe Biden's formal diagnoses will be. What I do know is that we've reached that point where it's time to take the keys away. He doesn't seem to see it. Of course he doesn't. He's never had a clear sense of himself, and that's only worsened as age has clouded his vision. One suspects those closest to him haven't helped in that regard either. It's no easy thing, and no matter how you look at it, it's sad. But it's time to ensure his safety and that of others.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter at SmoozyQ and keep listening to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, what are you going to do? Nice college boy, huh? Didn't want to get mixed up in the family business? Now you want to gun down a police captain, why? Because he slapped you in the face a little bit? Huh? What do you think this is, the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come in. Mwah.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Right now, I'm really focused on this country getting back on track, really focused on doing whatever I can to let people know that Donald Trump is our leader. He's our gladiator, man. He's our hero.
That is Hulk Hogan. I'm so glad he was there. I really am.
Yeah.
Because compare what you saw these last 4 days, Ken, with what you're going to see with 4 days in August at the Democrat convention.
Tell me they weren't taking notes.
Yeah, but even with the notes,
it don't matter.
Yeah, they can't.
No,
they can't recreate the excitement we have for these last 4 days. Dave Stouffer, whoosh, my brother. How many days till the end of the era? Error.
Whoosh, my brother. 185 days to the end of the year.
Oh man, let's do it.
And Vic, happy birthday.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
Dave.
thanks.
Happy
Dave.
birthday. Hey, just a quick trivia fact. And to the best of my research, Mr. Vance, J.D. Vance, will be the first enlisted member of the military in a vice president or presidential office. Everybody else who has served, to the best of my research, has been an officer. So this is the first time you've had the E4 Mafia, and those who have served will know, has been in the Oval Office.
So help me out. What was his what was his rank when he left?
I don't know his rank for him, but I want to say I had heard somewhere that he was just an E5 sergeant.
Okay.
I don't know. He might have been a corporal, but regardless, he's the first non-lieutenant, captain, major, colonel, general that I can find to be nominated for the executive office.
I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, Dave. Well, thank you so much for the kind words about the station. We appreciate you very much. And whoosh, my brother.
Whoosh, my brother.
Whoosh.
See you, Dave.
Dave Stouffer. All right, Kenny.
Yeah.
Chat box. That's what I love about him. Ed Stoit says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair election.
No peace.
No fair election.
No peace.
Good morning, all you mega, MAGA, ultra patriotic, deplorable, freedom fighting Vic Heads. Whew, man, that's a mouthful. Hey, News Talk STL, happy birthday. Appreciate it. It's Friday. Today's Friday. Happy Friday, Vic Heads. Thank you very much. Hey, look at that. It says, hey, look at that. My phone is a radio. Gonna listen while I cut my grass. Cool.
Look at that.
My phone is a radio. Okay, so the shooter had two phones. Why do you have two phones?
Yeah.
I also saw a story. Okay, I saw this on a published story. I want everyone to know that he also had 3 encrypted bank accounts overseas.
Wait a minute. You're talking about the shooter?
Yeah.
This kid was a 20-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're saying it's documented.
That was from an article I read. It wasn't just somebody saying it.
Okay.
A lot of leftist, racist trash talk in the chat. Huh? I dropped mine off. There's no way I could stay in that line. What are we talking about here?
Ray's on the line too. He wants to say something to you.
Ray?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to call me Ray. Hi, Ray.
Hi, Vic. Love hearing from you, man.
Love hearing from you.
I got a birthday today, just like your station. Only
Wait
I'm
a minute.
lot older.
Today? No, you couldn't be a lot older. Oh, then the station. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I get that. But
yeah.
probably not older than me. That's okay.
I'm
All right.
actually older than you, even.
Is that right? How many states were there when you were born?
48.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well done.
Yeah. But I believe that the gentleman might be incorrect. I think Harry S. Truman was an infantryman.
Well, there you go. Harry S. Truman.
World War One.
Well, we'll do our research. We'll have a little, chat around the table, and we'll figure this all out.
From
Okay,
the
Ray?
chat box.
All righty, man. Have a great one and keep on chugging.
You doesn't have to call me Ray. You can call me.
See you, Ray.
All right. See you. Didn't we have something ready for that at one point?
We did. I
That's
can't
okay.
find it. I can't.
How you doing? Somebody said that. Oh, 101 straight up said that. Vicky said, I'm there last night. What happened? Just the usual BS coming from the trolls, Ed. It just seemed extra thick last night. I didn't see it. You didn't see the anti-Semitic comments?
You've got to understand, everybody. They are up against a wall right now. They have nowhere to turn. They're falling apart. They are going to get so mean. Be careful on social media because they're going to try and drag people into things, and it's going to get really nasty here coming up in the next month or two.
Yep. Okay, I'm just looking at ignore stupidity, Vicky says. I agree with that.
Totally.
Okay, let's go over to Facebook, shall we? David Sylvester.
Hey, Dave.
I stayed up and watched the entire thing last night. Hulkster was awesome. Tell me, brother. Eric was a stud. Dana White was fabulous. And then Trump. Oh, my gosh. And I got to tell you, too, watching Melania walk out onto that before she went on stage, when she just walked into the arena and the welcome she got from that crowd, because Melania got such a bad rap from the press. Why? I don't know.
That whole family did.
She was elegant. She was graceful. She was smart. She was caring. She did things for children. That's terrible, terrible person. Good Friday morning, Freedom Fighters from Tom. Thank you, Tom. Good morning, Freedom Fighter Vic Heads. It's Friday. GMFFVH. Congratulations on the best morning show ever. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
I've been with you from the start. Thank you so much, Barbara. We appreciate that.
And you get one for this.
It's Friday.
Never disappoint your follower. You never disappoint your followers. We love you, Vic, again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scooter says, I'm a Democrat, and Trump kissing the fire helmet was, in my opinion, authentic and sincere.
Thank you, Scooter. It's true.
Not a downer at all. And it wasn't a downer for me. It was just emotional for me.
No, but someone said, oh, that was staged.
No, you know
Who
what?
cares? You know, I mean, I'll say one thing. When this reminded me of when Donald Trump hugged the American flag, that was authentic.
No.
I don't care if it was for a photo op or not, but he looked authentic when he did it.
So last night, Tony and I did a little piece before Trump, right up to when Trump started his speech. And I did it in the living room, sitting right there with Jess. And she's such a radio wife. She's unbelievable. When they brought out that fireman suit, she was trying to mouth to me, fireman suit. She got the fireman. And I was like, I teared up. Chris Kyle was the name I was trying to think of.
Chris
Thank
Kyle,
you, Chris.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Jay Ashcroft, what's your 4-year plan as governor? Sorry, I wish I saw that when we had him on.
Yeah, sorry.
That was Dave Stouffer reiterating what he said on the air. Happy 3rd birthday to the greatest radio station. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Red State. You can call me Ray, but you doesn't have to call me Johnson. That's what it was. Thanks, David. And Dave said Harry Truman retired as an 06 colonel. Boy, these guys know their stuff.
Don't they?
And spit it out that quickly.
I love it.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate you. It's Friday. It's our birthday. Can you do both?
Oh,
Friday and happy birthday.
You challenging me?
I'm
or something?
challenging you to a happy birthday.
Here we go.
Okay, go.
Why don't you hear it?
Go.
Happy birthday. It's Friday.
There we go. Oh, my God. You're awesome. That's Ken Williams, everybody. The Wheel of Audio Clips is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Don't. After I signed the Act into law.
Crack-a-lackin'. You are speaking my crack-a-lackin' language.
The PAC Act in. Don't.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right. Companies that do such a great job that I challenge you to go check out their reputation, check out their Google reviews, check out the Better Business Bureau. And at the top of that list is Connor Roofing, okay? 31 years of putting roofs on people's houses, fixing roofs, going up and giving you an honest estimate on whether you need a new roof or not, okay? They want to keep the goobers away from you. Quick story. Kathy Connor called me, and she said that somebody called her because Goober called this lady, and then this lady thought of us, me and Ken, saying no more goobers. And she goes, so is that what they're talking about? I mean, Kathy, yep, no goobers here. And then Kathy took care of her. I thought that was kind of cool that people are responding to what we're saying, especially with keeping away the goobers.
Yeah.
No goobers. Get the information you need. Get the quality work. that you want, and great customer service and follow-up. Go check out their Google reviews. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see all great reviews for Connor Roofing. So either give them a call at 314-375-7475 or ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
The next Larry Connors USA.
It's official. The Republican nominees for president and vice president, Trump and Vance, leading us into 2024.
Larry Connors USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Fox News commentary.
President Biden might be laid up with COVID, but that didn't stop another round of student loan forgiveness. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
COVID, words, tall stairs, all things that may slow down President Biden, but not his ability to buy votes with taxpayer dollars. This week, the Biden administration announced so-called forgiveness to the tune of $1.2 billion for 35,000 public service workers. This brings the tally to $168.5 billion in student loan forgiveness for roughly 4.8 million people. This Biden administration loan forgiveness workaround pertains to those who made 120 qualifying monthly payments while working in the public service sector. But why would anyone continue to pay back their debts if this administration promises to dole out more free money courtesy of the American taxpayer? It sets an awful precedent and does nothing to address the underlying issue of overpriced higher education. This move also stresses our national debt and the ramifications of that national debt. What a joke. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
The Wheel of Audio Clips, brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Whoosh.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, we as the evolve our institution to drive creative new partnerships. Let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
You know, I was trying it last night. I was trying to. I was watching the Pulp Fiction scene with divine intervention.
Yes.
And he doesn't actually say. It's too much curse words. It's just too much emphasis. I tried. I just want you guys to know I tried. This is divine intervention. Okay, Kenny, are we ready?
In just a moment here. We're almost,
you're the boss, you know.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, time for the Wheel of Audio Clips.
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, the Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Modron, very much. Thank you so much. Studio audience, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Y'all look great. How you doing? So it's the Wheel of Audio Clips. We take all the audio clips that we heard all week, and we put them in the revolving drum, and we take out the ones that come out and put it all on the wheel, and then we spin the wheel, and wherever it lands is what we play. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, and there are tens, I tell you.
Tens. There actually are more than tens. There's more audio clips we play in a week than people go to Joe Biden's rallies.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
I'll agree with that one.
I think his next one's going to be in the COVID wing of a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Spin that wheel. Let's do it. Lots of exciting stuff happened this week, I'll tell you that much. And a lot of exciting people, a lot of unexpected people at the convention. And speak of the devil, I think the most unexpected person, because the first time in the history of the Teamsters Union, which is 120 years, by the way, the president of the Teamsters spoke at the convention.
And I think we all can agree, whether people like him or they don't like him, in light of what happened to him on Saturday, he has proven to be one tough SOB.
Yeah.
Sean O'Brien, president of the Teamsters, who I am not glorifying at all. Okay.
Right.
He's a union president thug is what he is. But at least he accepted an invitation to speak at the Republican convention.
Right. That hasn't been done.
Is he going to speak at the Democrat convention?
I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he will. Maybe not. I don't know. I just know that it was weird to see him there. That night that he spoke at the Republican convention, he referenced his little almost fight with Senator Marquand Miller.
Right.
When Bernie said, Stop it right now, you're a U.S. Senator. Sit down. Because they were going to go at it right there. And he kind of referenced,
that again. What did
Stop
Bernie
it.
say?
You stop it. You're a U.S. Senator. This is a commission.
All right, Mr. Sanders.
Stop it.
Calm down.
Shut up.
Calm down, Mr.
Shut up.
Sanders. Calm down.
Spin the wheel. Yeah, I've done how many impressions have I done today? I'm telling you, brother. You better vote for Donald Trump, my hero. Okay. So I don't know. For some people, Donald Trump choosing J.D. Vance as a running mate came at a complete left field. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of people were on the Tim Scott train, you know? A lot of people, even though they weren't on the final list, Elise Stefanik and Tulsi Gabbard, they wanted to see, and he chose J.D. Vance.
And can I just say that I think he's the right choice only because everybody who I disagree with thinks he's bad.
Yeah. And he looks like a young Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
According to Donald Trump. Anyway, he accepted the nomination for vice president.
And so tonight, Mr. Chairman, I stand here humbled, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
He puts his hand on his heart a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, and at a convention, people will chant anything.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was talking about his grandma, which he called Mama or Mima or whatever he called it.
I think, yeah, Mama.
Mama. And the crowds go, Mama, Mama. And his mother, who was addicted to drugs and alcohol, now clean for 10 years, he introduced her, and the crowd chants, JD's mom, JD's mom. And I thought his stories were great. The stories about his grandmother. I know I've said this a couple times this week, but I loved that the grandmother, she was a very Christian lady, very religious, but she did like the F word, you know?
You know what I find interesting is that the left Democrat fascists are somehow becoming the conspiracy theorists. They talked about how, that whole shooting was staged, and now they're talking about how J.D. Vance is not from the Appalachians. Yeah.
They're stupid. Another thing about grandma was when this kid who was doing drugs and selling drugs was trying to hang out with JD, and his grandmother said, if you hang out with that kid again, I'm going to run him over with my car and nobody will find out.
Love it.
Like, it wasn't that JD was going to be in trouble. She was going to run the other kid over with her car. And then the best part was after she passed away. That sounded terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After she passed away, it was funny that they found 19 loaded handguns in her house. So she was never too far away from protecting herself and her family and her home.
I believe she was for the Second Amendment.
I believe she was as well. J.D. Vance, I think he's a good pick, and I think he'll make a fine president in 2028 and 2032. I hope I'm around to see all that. All right, spin the wheel again. There, wheel spinner. Okay, I am a little tired.
Oh, I didn't go to bed till 2:30 this morning.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough staying awake for all
Oh,
that.
wow.
Okay, so CNN, Van Jones, who said some weird stuff in the past. When Donald Trump won in 2016, he called it a whitewash.
Right.
So listen to his words after A, Trump got shot, and B, a very uniting Republican National Convention.
If you pull back and look at this thing, strength versus weakness, a bullet couldn't stop Trump. A virus just stopped Biden. You've got the nominees of this party getting their butts kissed. Biden's getting his butt kicked by his own party. The Democrats are coming apart. The Republicans are coming together. That's what's happening.
One thing about him, he does a lot of fabrication, but he also does when he wants to say something, he doesn't hold back.
And don't get me wrong, he's saying that to say, hey, Democrats, get your act together.
Exactly.
But he's right. Now, that was CNN. Did you see the story that MSNBC were not at the convention, but they used a green screen to make it look like they were?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Swear to God, Ken.
Wow.
Yep. It's not a LED
How weak.
screen. They
How
called it
weak.
Yeah, so weak. Just say you're not there. What's the difference?
You're so weak.
And now that we know, you look like bigger idiots than we ever thought you were.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, spin that wheel again. Boy, we're squeezing a lot in today. I like this. All right. Now, Ken, what are the odds that it would stop on two different people from CNN?
Wow.
This is Jamie Gangle talking about Trump telling the crowd to fight, fight, fight.
I do want to say there was one thing that when I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that after he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
So what should the message be? Quit, quit, quit? Is that what he's supposed to say?
Well, if you're on the left, yes. If you're on the left, you're supposed to say, don't do it again. Don't.
I've never seen.
I've heard him. Don't. Right. That's what he would have done.
Right.
No, he wouldn't even have put his fist in the air. He would have just laid on the ground and said,
right.
Don't.
Can I say too, and I don't know if I've said this yet this week, that I think that the Secret Service who jumped on him after he got shot hurt him. Because you get tackled, man. They tackle you. If you're not ready, you can break a rib. Or I think he hurt his back a little bit getting tackled by the Secret Service. When he jumped up real quick, I don't think that did his back any good. So I think he's playing hurt right now.
He might be. And I was thinking that something you referenced about the convention when he was sitting in the chair and he would get up for his kids and he tried to stand up to clap and it was a little labored, a little bit.
I mean, I haven't been shot and I get up like that. Matter of fact, he got up quicker than I get up. Wait. Okay. Can we do one more? Do we have time to do one
let's
more?
do. Yeah.
I mean, let's hear somebody on our side. Oh, yeah, we heard JD Vance. All right, spin the wheel. And let's see if we can get somebody that we like all the time, 100%. I mean, if it stopped on Donald Trump would be fun. Wouldn't it be fun? Oh, my God, it's fun. It's Donald John Grover.
No, it's not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are you counting?
No, I've got number 1.
Yeah. That's not him?
No.
Who is it?
What's the announcement for VP?
He's not announcing it?
No.
Oh, for God's sakes, I thought it was him.
No.
It's not Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump?
No.
All right, get played.
All right, everybody. The news we have been waiting for throughout the day has just been made. This is an announcement on Truth Social by former President Trump. He has selected Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his vice presidential pick. And this is what he writes. After lengthy deliberation and thought, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio.
Okay.
We have one more left, though.
Can you just play some Trump?
Yeah, we got one more left.
Oh, spin the wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, spin that wheel. I got to start showing up for rehearsal. I'm sorry, I didn't. I thought that was the Trump one on the wheel, and now the wheel's spinning. I can't read it, and it spins at the same time.
There you go.
All right, Donald Trump.
I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built. On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. We're not going to let that happen.
Yep. So his lawyer, Haba, whatever her name is, she referenced this song during her speech when Donald Trump says, don't you worry, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. So good week, good convention. Donald Trump's okay. He's got a little bandage on his ear. It's okay. But he's on his way. So hold on, because he's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
Boy, we've played that clip so many times, Ken. And Saturday was a living proof. They're coming after me because I'm standing up for you. And that's exactly what they did on Saturday. They came after him because he's standing up for you.
And they better get their Secret Service beefed up because they're going to need it.
Yeah, not the JV team.
No.
Or the secret. I don't know why I started saying Secret Service and I say Social Security for some reason. But the Secret Service better get their act together. Not Secret Service cheerleaders or anything like that. The real deal, please. All right, listen, thank you so much. It was a great week. It was a great week at the convention. And I just want to say thank you for having the record player on at night, for listening.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
It's Friday. Thank you so much.
Friday.
Ken, thank you, baby.
Thanks, Vic.
Have a good weekend. Kenny and I will be back with you Monday morning, 9 o'clock on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Whoosh. Someday I'll be able to forget my broken days. Life will be grim because the ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't have to say, here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
News, analysis, opinion.
We're the United States of America. We are the indispensable nation.
This whole re-election is currently in free fall.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
I'm staying in the race.
News Talk STL.
Tony Colombo here, along with Tim Jones for Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Rodney and Jen are the #1 home selling team in the area, and I could say that from personal experience. They sold our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible, which put us in a great position as we tried to find our perfect new home. And with help from the Wallners, that's exactly what we did. Christine and I couldn't be happier with our experience working with Rodney and Jen Wallner. And Tim, the numbers speak for themselves.
That's right, Tony. Everybody knows the Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. And if you're looking to sell your home, right now they have so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. They're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the St. Louis region, you can put the Wallners experience and work ethic to work for you. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call Rodney and Jen Wallner now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
No matter how big the event, Capriotti's can take care of all of your business or personal catering needs. With party trays, box lunches, a meatball bar, shareable salads, plus desserts and sides. Easy ordering is available via the Capriotti's app. Check it all out at capriottis.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Donald Trump accepted the Republican Party's presidential nomination less than a week after a failed assassination attempt. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports from Milwaukee.
The former president opened his address by describing the attempt on his life.
I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet.
In a quiet personal message, he said he was alive by the grace of God. Trump then shifted to a more typical political speech, promising to restore American prosperity and security.
To achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership.
At the Republican National Convention, Greg Clugston, Milwaukee.
Also at townhall.com, internet users reporting widespread connection issues with the effects rippling through airports and banking. Jennifer King has more.
Microsoft says users worldwide have been unable to access apps and services in a widespread outage reportedly connected to the U.S. cybersecurity company CrowdStrike. The cause and scale of the outage is unclear. Widespread outages were being reported by airlines, media, and financial companies, including Visa, ADT Security, and American Airlines. News outlets in Australia are reporting that government and commercial platforms there have also been severely affected. Microsoft 365 posted on X that the company was working on rerouting the impacted traffic to alternate systems. I'm Jennifer King.
Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gerskovich, convicted of espionage charges that his employer and the U.S. vehemently reject. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison. The conclusion of this trial could potentially clear the way for a prisoner swap between Moscow and Washington. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 315 points, the NASDAQ 50 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. What a beautiful day today. Mostly sunny skies and a high of 81, well below the normal of 90. So let's enjoy this. Low humidity and below normal, nice warm July day. Overnight, a low of 64 degrees. Let's watch for some patchy fog early Saturday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies and a high of 84 in the afternoon. Humidity remaining low. Now on Sunday, the humidity creeps up just a little bit, but nothing too excessive. A high of 84, mostly cloudy skies, so more cloud cover. And again, a touch more humid, but staying dry Sunday. Next rain chance arrives on Monday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Bill Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Stop what you're doing and listen to this. Your God-given freedoms are up for the taking, and those doing the taking are the same people who've sworn to defend your freedom. They think they can control the media, hide the truth, and force their delusions onto your family. You know what they can't take away? Self-reliance, peace of mind. Got water filtration? You should. A charged solar generator? You better. Emergency food on your shelf? Get it now from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the most trusted name in survival, and for damn good reason, too. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and save $200 on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. It delivers over 2,000 calories per day, plus sealed inside practically unpierceable packaging. It lasts up to 25 years. Oh, and did I mention it's delicious? Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save $200 per kit. Includes fast and free shipping. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Thank you for the opportunity to let me vent here.
Live and local.
Way to be, guys. 1019 all the way.
This is News Talk STL.
I am home.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone. Taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Folks, listen, I've been doing this a long time, and I got to tell you, I don't get particularly, starstruck by people, but this guy's one of my heroes. I actually worked for him at a very low level as a street police officer in the 7-5 precinct when he was the mayor in New York, and he cleaned that city up. And it was a city I loved, I still love, and I wish it wasn't ruined by progressives who tore down everything he did. I want to welcome to the show for the first time, Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, one of my heroes. Rudy,
Dan,
gosh, it's good to see you.
Dan, you're one of mine. I mean, and I have to tell you, you don't know this, but you helped get me through a lot of the worst times.
Oh my gosh,
when you get hit the way I have, or the president, or Steve Bannon, or Professor Eastman, I mean, yeah, I can take it. There's nothing they can do to me that's going to stop me. So it just make me tougher. But every once in a while, you feel like you're alone. And your commentary, believe it or not, you probably don't know how you help people. Your commentary.
It's the Italian in us.
Well, there's something about how tough you are.
Thank you.
No, some people have this little hesitant voice or something. You have no hesitation, and you know right from wrong.
My audience loves you. I'm watching right now.
You really know right from wrong.
Gonzo, Greg, love you, Rudy. Oh, they love you. It's so good to see you.
Your analysis the other day, the best.
On the shooting.
Professional. I know it. I know that business really well.
I know you do.
It was really, really good.
I want to get
do
to
it so
that.
quickly.
Thank you.
You know what you're doing. You should go back and straighten out the Secret Service.
I spoke to the president the other day, and I said, Mr. President, we got to keep you alive. I'm just not confident right now.
Maybe a year. You go back and just straighten it out.
You're a good man. You'd be a great director of Secret Service.
FBI.
They'd
love to have somebody from the Secret Service. Straighten them out.
You can tell, folks, I'm all kind of discombobulated because I love this man so much. So I worked for you, Mayor Giuliani, and before you were the mayor, you were running the Southern District in New York for the Justice Department. Your reputation, to say was peerless, is an understatement. There are still A&E specials and stuff done now about what you did to break up the mob, to clean up New York City. This is before you were even the mayor. You have to be particularly offended by the Justice Department you loved and worked for being weaponized now to go after political opponents. When you were running the Southern District in New York, if someone walked into your office and said, Mr. Giuliani, I want to go after Mayor Koch, who was the Democrat mayor of New York way before you, I think it's a good idea, but it's a weak case. What would have happened?
I'd throw them out or report them. And it happened. I mean, it's not as if, we didn't live in a pristine world. We lived in a world where people wanted to fix things both ways. And you tried to do it on me, and you were thrown out. When Geraldine Ferraro was nominated, a certain group of people started encouraging me to revive some allegations about her husband being connected to the mafia. And I said, you're crazy. I'm not going to do it now. You want me to look at them? Come back in December. I look at anything in December. But right now, this guy's not going to kill anybody. He's not going to hurt anybody. I don't know if they're true or false. But you're playing a game with me, and the reputation of my office is too important. And I can assure you that in those days, a Democrat in my position would have done the same thing in the Southern District.
Wow.
It had 100 years of unimpeachable honesty destroyed when guys like Comey got appointed. And I feel great guilt. I hired Jim Comey as an assistant U.S.
Did he change?
You're darn right he did. He became a massive liar who should be in prison.
And it's not only is Comey a liar, Mr. Mayor, talking to Mayor Rudy Giuliani, he's proud of his lies.
Yeah, he was manipulating it to remove a lawfully elected president. Who the hell is he to remove a lawfully elected president? What, did he become God? I call him James Cardinal Comey.
I've heard you say that many times. Now, when James Comey went out and gave that infamous speech about what Hillary Clinton did, and then as the FBI director then claimed he was not going to prosecute.
Idiotic.
But Mr. Mayor, you've been on both sides of this thing. You understand he had no authority to say that. He's an investigator running an investigative agency. He wasn't a United States attorney at the time.
Unethical. It's grounds for being fired. If I decide not to prosecute somebody, I can't indirectly prosecute him by putting out all the bad things about him. I can't go on and say I'm investigating, Joe Jones. We're not going to indict him, but let me tell you what Joe Jones did. He destroyed 33,000 emails. He crushed a hard drive. He lied 5 times. He hid documents. But we're not going to prosecute him.
Yeah.
I mean, now, whoever it is, Hillary or Jones, they can't even defend themselves.
Yeah.
And that's right in the Justice Department manual, right in the U.S. Attorney's manual, and it's grounds for firing.
Yeah.
Then he gave all the facts that would clearly indicate she should be prosecuted.
Right.
And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, my God, he's going to recommend prosecution. And he says, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute. I said, no prosecutor with a brain wouldn't prosecute her.
Right.
In fact, in my day, somebody would salivate for a big case like that.
Yeah.
That's strong.
It was.
I rarely had cases as a real prosecutor, like the one against Biden is the biggest, strongest case in the history of America in terms of evidence. When they say there's no evidence of Biden getting money, Hunter Biden.
There's a bank trail.
Well, Hunter Biden has a text. That's an admission and a confession. It's a text to his daughter that they hide, in which he says, for 30 years, I've given my father half my income. That's evidence. I mean, you call that evidence.
I'm not a lawyer, Mr. Mayor, but
evidence.
that's certainly admissible in court, correct?
It's an exception to the hearsay rule called an admission, and it's some of the most powerful evidence in court. How does Cohen get to testify?
Yeah.
I gave Trump money. Well, that's what he's saying. I gave my father money. Gave him half my income for 30 years. Doesn't that explain the whole thing?
Of course it does.
It explains why anybody would give money to. The big question is, why would anybody give money to a degenerate drug addict?
I mean, it's
because
a common
of his
sense
father.
thing.
And he gave half of his income to his father. Even the conservative press avoids that. They also avoid when he tells his father, I'm a danger to the nieces and nephews, because the psychiatrist suspected him of sexual abuse. Now, I'm sorry. We're talking about child abuse now, and they covered it up.
Isn't there a duty to report
The
on
first
that?
FBI agent, when John McIsaac called, that came to him came from the sex crime unit of the FBI.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they have a file on him.
Oh, my gosh. Let me ask you a political question. I bring you up on my show all the time. we have a lot of obviously disgruntled Republicans, and I don't blame them, Mr. Mayor. They feel like the Republican Party's abandoned them. When you were the mayor of New York, you produced actual results, not a lot of talk, a lot of results. I remember every day Al Sharpton be giving a speech about Giuliani's crazy. And you know what? You got reelected by a ridiculous landslide. So I bring you up a lot, and I have this line. I say to people, you have to ask your neighbor, is it bad enough yet? Voting patterns change when things get bad enough. New York City got bad enough. You run for mayor. You lose the first time. You run the second time. Everybody says, guy's got no shot. You win in a massive upset. The point is, once your Republican conservative ideas were implemented in New York, you ran for re-election. You won by an astonishing 18 points in a city with I think 8-1 Democrat to Republican registration advantage. The point I'm trying to make, which I want you to tell my audience, is voting patterns change when things get bad enough. We just have to be persistent enough to stick to our ideas and stick it out.
100, you're absolutely right. I mean, people in the old cities like New York and Chicago and Philadelphia have been brainwashed. So it's a tough job, but it can be done.
You did it.
And we're getting there.
But it wasn't overnight. You lost your first time.
Right. And we're almost at that point. We're at that point in the state. The state is ready to turn. I mean, I'm not going to predict that Trump wins the state. Would I be surprised if he won the state by 1% or 2%? Could happen. Could happen.
In New York, right.
That happens, we start to have a sea change. Most important is, first, the Hispanic vote.
Huge.
I think he's got a solid hold on half the Hispanic vote. In New York, he's behind only by 4% of the Hispanic vote. In New York, and New York's Hispanic vote is the most Democrat. You go down to Florida, he's ahead in the Hispanic
And
vote.
it's a huge constituency in New York.
Yeah, and it's
huge.
Moving toward him big time.
Every
Big
borough,
time.
Queens,
Big time.
Bronx, Brooklyn, everywhere.
The black vote is ready.
I see it too. I see it too.
I have more black people come up to me about him than white people. They come up to me and tell him I support him. Tell him I support him. Tell him I support him. It's like a sign of independence now from the Democrats. You know, Malcolm X, who you might dislike and distrust for a whole bunch of reasons, said something I think we'd all agree with. That the biggest enemy of African Americans is the white liberal.
Oh, I've always been. I mean, you go back to Daniel Patrick Moynihan.
That isn't a right-wing kook.
No.
That's Malcolm X.
Yeah. I mean, Moynihan was a lefty and warned about a lot of this stuff, these policies.
Moynihan was a very good friend of mine,
Yeah.
even though he was probably he's probably the senator I relied on the most because he was so smart and I could go talk to him about things. And he pointed out way back that it's the family. It's the destruction that was done when blacks moved from the South to the big cities, where the big cities began to enslave them again, which is what they do. So when I became mayor, I changed welfare. And I think that had as much to do with reducing crime as CompStat. I said, you want welfare? You got to work. I introduced workfare 2 years before Clinton and Gingrich. And it was a shock. The New York Times said I was running a plantation.
You were starving
that I was
people
a
to
racist.
death. Yeah,
I was a racist.
I lived in New York when it
I
was
said
happening.
just the opposite of a racist. I love these people. You don't.
Yeah.
If my brother didn't have a job, I wouldn't just give him money. I'd get him a job because I love him. You don't love him. You just want to not be bothered with him. What DeSantis did when he sent those people up to Martha's Vineyard.
Genius.
You remember the expression in New York, limousine liberal?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, yeah.
By the way, did you see them all smiling when they sent them
we're
off?
sanctuary city. Oh my gosh, these people are coming in get them out. Get them out.
See, they were waving. Let me ask you one last question. I got about 2 minutes left. You were one of the lead creative figures with Bill Bratton and others in Broken Windows Policing. The theory being, why are we letting the little stuff go? The guy who jumps the turnstile is probably the same guy who's going to rape a woman on the train. He's not going to pay the fare. He's a criminal. You said get him when he jumps the turnstile so he doesn't rape or rob someone. Everybody called you crazy. Oh my gosh, we're locking up Squeegee, man. What a loser Giuliani is. And then crime got cut in half, and then in half. And then we went from 3,000 homicides to something like 300, and you look like a genius. Now we're going back in the opposite direction, doing the same crap again as if what you did never happened.
Yeah, I mean, reducing crime permanently. First of all, CompStat's real achievement is it changed policing from just arresting to preventing crime.
That's computer statistics.
Yeah. So cops saw they would get a reward if they figured out a strategy for bringing crime down. Getting to know the patterns better, getting to know the gangs, whatever all different strategies, because crime is different. And the broken windows theory started to shed a sense of law and order. I used to describe it this way. Before I came in, every bus, every subway filled with graffiti.
Everywhere.
Going through the city. Within 1 year, no graffiti. They were sending in an advertisement every day, destroy people's property. It's okay to destroy people's property. We're a city that doesn't care. I was sending a signal saying, boy, we're going to get you for graffiti. We're going to get you for graffiti.
They put it up.
You know
and
what we're
took it
going to
down.
do for robbery? You know what we're going to do for robbery? What I did with the graffiti people is I had them sentenced to taking it down. And welfare, I got 600,000 people off welfare, 500,000 with jobs. And the thing that sustains me now, no matter what they do, is if I walk in New York long enough, I'll have somebody come up to me and thank me for getting them a job. Because there were so many of them. And they're
changed so
mostly
many
black
lives.
and Hispanic people.
Do you know how many young, white, black, and Hispanic people are alive today because of the policies you went? Do you ever think about that?
I do.
3,000 people were being murdered a year.
I think about it from the opposite perspective, how many they get killed.
So
how many they are, like in Chicago with that nut job mayor who blamed it on Nixon. I mean,
Brandon Johnson.
4th of July weekend, 100 shot, 19 dead. And that's just a normal weekend.
Yeah, and everybody just gaffs it off like nothing happened.
And they do nothing about it. Year after year, they vote for the craziest left wing. Well, I really hope the American people. I think a big win for Trump, and even more important, a big defeat for the Democrat Party
would send the message.
Will require them to change. I don't want a one-party system.
I got to run them at a time.
I want
but
a
Mr. Mayor,
responsible two-party
I think you're right. I think if that happens, we'll see. Remember the Democrat Leadership Council after they lost with Reagan, Bush?
Great movement.
They switched the
And we've
Democrat
done
Party
that.
back to Senate.
Trump has virtually changed our party.
Yeah.
When I grew up, they were the party of the poor.
Yeah.
And the middle class. We're the party
now
of the
they're
poor.
the party of the white liberal caste.
And we're the party of the outcast, you and me.
I got to run.
The deplorables.
Mr. Mayor, one of my heroes.
You're the best.
God bless you, sir.
Oh, my
Thanks for
goodness,
coming
what
on.
a job you do.
I told you we were only bringing you the best guests. I got to take a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned to the Dan Bongino.
Bongino.
Hey, many Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there are companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our rights. I love Patriot Mobile. They've been on the front lines fighting for our rights, the sanctity of life, our military and veteran first responder heroes. Take a stand for conservative causes. Put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. You'll get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers. Plus, Patriot Mobile operates across all 3 major networks. They back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. So keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you sign up and use the offer code Dan. Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share our values or having the same coverage. They don't, and they can't. Join me. Switch to America's only Christian conservative mobile provider, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT for your free month of service today.
Dan Bongino.
News, analysis, opinion.
Judge Eileen Cannon has dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump.
I think that was the right decision.
1019 and 94.1.
My talk station.
News Talk STL.
If you haven't been to Lit Cigar Lounge in the district at Chesterfield, you're missing a great experience. Premium cigars, drinks, spacious seating, TVs in every direction. This and more explain why Lit was voted Best Cigar Lounge 2 years in a row. Now you can be at Lit and order Napoli Brothers pizza and pasta delivered to you. In fact, Napoli's just a few doors down. A coal-fired oven giving a unique taste. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta, now open in the Chesterfield district.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. The city was booming. Unfortunately, St. Louis city streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline. St. Louis City Republicans believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. Learn more at stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican Pat Curtis, Farber Treasurer.
Hello, fans of the paranormal. I'm Frankie, host of the newest show on NewstalkSTL on a Garage. And we'll be discussing everything paranormal. From ghosts, demons, hauntings, and aliens to skinwalker, Bigfoot, fairies, and the Chupacabra. Every Saturday night between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., me and Jeremy will discuss mysterious events in St. Louis and surrounding areas, including gateway families and unsolved true crimes. That's right. It's all right here exclusively on News Talk STL from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night.
The latest news.
Former president was shot.
Take a look at what happened.
Political violence of any kind or shape or form is unacceptable.
Judge Eileen Cannon has dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump.
The Republican National Committee be convened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
He's got so many good choices that he can pick.
Party is now Trump's party.
1019 and 94.1.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Should call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-297-7049. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-297-7049. 800-297-7049. 800-297-7049.
Let's qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
There are things liberals say, then there is reality. Find out the difference here. The Dan Bongino Show.
Yeah, find out the difference here. You're damn right. Mike, what'd you think of that interview? Jim, what'd you think of the interview with the mayor? Total banger, right? I told you we're not going to bring you any fakes and phonies. We have a ban on frauds on this show. So one thing I didn't get to speak to the mayor about, but I want to at some point in the future, is, again, this failed assassination plot against Donald Trump. I've got more great guests coming up for you. I haven't even touched on the J.D. Vance selection yet, which, if you listen to the show, and those in the Rumble chat right now, give me a yay or a nay here. Have you learned to read my winky, winky, nod, nod language? If you did, you were way ahead of the news cycle on this one. I think he is the best pick, was the best pick. I'm glad that that's the ticket going forward. And I'm going to get into it in more detail later. But you just got to remember the golden rule when it comes to vice presidential selections. The golden rule is